As a beginner, you need to know these 3 basic steps to build your customer base in the media industry. Now, before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell for more of my videos. Now, let's hit away. Now, as a beginner, like I said before, you need to know these 3 basic steps, these 3 important steps to go far in the business, in the media business, and also build your customer base, which is the most important thing in this business. But first of all, this is what I always ask my students before I start or before I go into any sort of class with them is, do you have love for this business? Yes, because this business is actually very tricky and it's very difficult. It's a very tricky and difficult business. It gets so difficult to the point that it gets frustrated, and then boom, you just decide want to give up. But then again, if you have love for this business, you would always want to know more. You would always want to do more. You would always want to be creative. Even as hard as it goes, you would always want to push far. Now, how I actually take to get myself better is when I get into a difficult type of editing trick, or maybe I go through a YouTube channel and then I see some of this editing trick and I say, okay, let me just try it. It gets very hard. And let me shock you, at some point, most of these people that actually do these tutorial videos, or maybe teach how to create effects on Premiere Pro and all that, they don't actually go into details at some points. They don't give you the secret on how to achieve 1 or 2 things. You have to figure it out yourself. So if you don't have love for this thing, you will try, and it won't work for you. You keep asking yourself, but this person did it. But how did he do it? Do you understand? So you must have love for it, for you to understand how it goes. Patience. If you don't have love for it, your patience will not be good enough, because it will be so hard that you get frustrated. That is the learning phase. And then again, you're done learning now. Okay, how do I start building my client? How do I start getting my clients? You see people start asking for free jobs and all that. Meanwhile, you yourself, you know how much you've spent in this. You know how much you spent trying to learn this thing, and somebody is coming from nowhere telling you to do the job for free. So here are the 3 basic steps I am actually going to teach you, and you know how to push forward and build your own customer base in this media industry. Now follow up, let's go. Now the first one is building a strong portfolio. Like I said before, yes, you've actually learned at some point, you've gotten so far at some point, you've studied how to handle cameras, equipment, you know how to edit at some point you're good. Do you understand? Now, building your portfolio, open a social media page, whether Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, or anything. Open a social media page, because the first thing a client would actually want to see is your job. What have you done? You cannot come and go and tell a client that, see, I'm a cinematographer, I'm a videographer, I want to cover your wedding. The person will say, okay, let me see your jobs. What do you have to show? And if you don't actually go for jobs, you cannot have a portfolio. Now, for me, I went as far as I was editing, I went as far as begging people to shoot for them. Especially music artists. Yes, I go as far as using iPhone to shoot for them. When they are in the studio doing one of their covers, I'll just go afar. Make I shoot one for you now. I'll shoot one cover for you now. I'll just go and shoot. They will volunteer their iPhone. I know these people now, they like free things. They volunteer their iPhone, and then I'll shoot for them and edit. And as I'm editing, I'm also going on YouTube, learning 1 or 2 effects to enhance myself. So when I'm done editing, I just send it to them. They'll like it, and I post it on my portfolio. On my portfolio, you go for free jobs. At this point, money is not even a priority for you now. At this point, building your portfolio is what you need to do. After opening your Instagram, your TikTok, or Facebook, go for free jobs. Volunteer. I even volunteered in a foundation. Where I worked as a media person. I snapped, I videoed, I edit. Do you understand me? I snap, I video, and I edit. I know what I suffered. What they could actually give to me at that time is transport. But it paid off at some point, because the first job I had, the first wedding I shot, it was a free job. I paid my transport and I went. Do you understand me? So, first of all, you build your portfolio. Have enough videos in your YouTube, your Instagram, your Facebook, your TikTok page, so that when a client asks for your job, you send it to him. You go as far as you just paste the link and give it to the client, and then the client will go through it. and not just posting random videos. You don't just go and post random videos in your social media page that you call your business page. You post mainly on your jobs, things you do in that field, and not something that goes outside of your job, or you post a selfie of you. Even if you want to post a video of yourself, it should be a video of you working. So that is how you grow a portfolio for yourself. Secondly is leverage networking. Networking is actually one of the most important thing again too. Yes, I see most of this. I see some creators, some video editors, photographers, cinematographers. Sometimes when they are in an event, they see their fellow colleagues as a competition to them. No, you as a beginner, you don't see your fellow colleague as a competition. Rather, you network, you try to talk to them. From there, you can even learn more. From there, you can learn more. Do you understand me? When you work with them, try to network, talk to them. After the event, exchange contacts with them. When you exchange contacts with them, add them on your WhatsApp. Do you understand? They will definitely view your status. Yes, I am very sure that a fellow creative would always want to pay attention to your status, your WhatsApp status. So then when you post your jobs, the person will go through the jobs and see them. One day, the person might actually have a job and call you, say, Alpha, we get shoot to, we could go do this shoot together. And that will happen when the person has actually patiently viewed your status and seen your jobs, and is very sure that, oh my, this guy is good. I can actually work with this guy. You understand? And not just networking, build trust too. When the first job you must have with a client, you must learn how to build trust. Your delivery must be very fast. Delivery must be on time there. Make sure you have no issue with your client or anything. Do you understand? And when you're in that field shooting, you don't just act grumpy and all that. Be friendly to everybody. That is how you network. Be friendly to everybody, whether makeup artists or sound people, anybody. Be friendly to them, with them. You get? So that is how you always leverage your networking. If you don't network with your fellow colleagues or people in this business, it must not be a photographer, it must not be a videographer or anything. Makeup artists, event planners, decorators, and all that. You also network with them. These people can actually give you jobs too. Networking is another important thing you must do or know as a beginner. Thirdly, get involved with industry events or online communities. This is the same thing I talked about when we talked about building your portfolio. Now, when I was actually learning this business or this job, I always go for free gigs. Like I said before, I always go for free gigs, comedy events, music events, name it, concerts. I always go for free gigs, and those are the ones I like going because I always want to show myself. Those are where you can actually be free to do your things. You don't have time. You don't actually have a time frame you need to work on. You understand? Because they are events. So you go there, you do your things, be creative, go crazy. Do you understand? Money should not always be your priority. Money should not be your priority as at that moment. As at that time, you need to start finding portfolios. Try to build your page, or try to try to enhance yourself. Do you understand? And going for industry events is actually one of those things you need to do, because people in those kind of events now, people that actually host those kind of events, that is where they start looking for sponsors. You understand? You can actually volunteer as a sponsor. Volunteering as a sponsor, they can also put your logo on the backdrop and all that as part of the sponsors. My school department, I always volunteer as the media personnel there. You understand? I always volunteer as the media personnel. In fact, anything that has to do with publicity, I was always involved. Publicity, both advert videos and all that, I always involve myself in it because I want to build my brand. Do you understand? Comedy events, I always go to shoot. Poetry, I go there to shoot for free. The only thing I can only ask is just transport, and I'm okay. So these are the things you need to know. These are the three big steps you need to know. There are other things, but as a beginner, you need to know these 3 steps. Once you follow these 3 steps, then you find your customer community growing. Listening. Well, thank you very much. So thank you very much for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe, share, like, comment on the comment section, and please hit the notification bell. Subscribe again. Hit the notification bell for more of my videos. Thank you very much for watching. God bless.